As a child, I always loved packing for a trip. It meant that we were going on a holiday, setting off on a new adventure. New places, new faces and new smells. I even loved how the clothes would carry the scent of travel when we finally arrived and unpacked. But that child grew up. He went through some crazy things and suddenly everyone expected him to act like an adult. He grew stronger, maybe a bit wiser, but he carries a few scars now as well. And now he's packing again. He feels that all the excitement returning, can't wait to begin the next journey. But this time it's different. Where to? Welcome to Project Cornerstone, a journey towards something greater. And you're right to ask, who are you? What is this project and why are you packing up again? We'll get to that part soon enough, but let's just start at the beginning. I'm Paul, someone who felt lost and stuck for far too long, and who finally decided to take a bold step forward instead of continuing to hesitate. And yes, that step includes a long journey. To understand what this project is all about, we have to go back to the day when I finished high school. It was almost a year ago when I had to leave a place where I had basically spent the last 4 years of my life. That day, a door closed. A chapter of my life came to an end, and I was left with one heavy, unanswered question. Where to next? At that point in my life, I was confused and overwhelmed, facing several losses and challenges. I drifted away from God, lost nearly all my friends, made some bad choices and rushed head first in the wrong direction. I simply just couldn't find my place. Where do I belong? What is my purpose? But after what felt like an endless battle with my memories, my addictions and even myself, I came to a realization. God gave me dreams for a reason. From a very young age, I dreamed of traveling, of exploring God's beautiful creation, meeting new people and discovering different cultures. I was fascinated by animals, sports, hiking and nature in general. Not to mention playing and listening to music, but that's a whole other story. When I slow down for a moment and piece those dreams together, they form a clear vision of the life I meant to live and of the ultimate goal I'm striving toward. For the first time in a long while, I have something to fight for. A reason to break free from the routine I was trapped in for far too long. And don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. I live a calm and comfortable life, but until a few months ago, before I began working on this project, everything felt like a meaningless repeating rhythm. It was the kind of life where you study, work out and follow your daily routines, but if someone asked you what you were actually working toward, you wouldn't have a clear answer. That phase ended the moment I decided to chase my dreams, because, as I've already said, I finally have something to fight for. And with that, we arrive at the purpose of this channel, to document this new journey of mine. Why, you might ask? Partly so that one day I can show it to my grandchildren and say, see, that was the moment when Grandpa decided to truly live. So, to create memories, to capture the turning point. But there's another reason too, one that matters even more, to motivate others. I want to encourage people. I want to share the lessons I've learned through my struggles and the messages I've discovered in painful seasons of growth. Go out there, live. If you're already in touch with your dreams, don't let them slip away. Chase them, fight for them. And when everything feels pointless or overwhelming, just slow down. Lay it in God's hands and stand back up. So here's my message for you today. The foundation of Project Cornerstone. Do not be afraid to start new things, to start something new. And believe me when I say, I know how scary this can be. The preparation process for just this project alone took me about 2 months. During that time, I felt afraid, overwhelmed and uncertain, and I was at the edge of giving up many times. I wrote down hundreds of scripts and ideas, all of which ended up in the trash, and I had to start all over again, and again, and again, and a couple of times even more. But eventually, this is what I have come to understand from these past months of planning and preparation. If you ask for God's blessing and His guidance, then your responsibility is simple. Remain consistent and put genuine effort into whatever you do. Do not be afraid is the most frequently repeated command in the Bible, and for a good reason. It is no coincidence that it appears 365 times, the same number as the days in a year. And just to set an example, this is what Project Cornerstone is all about. Starting something new. Doing something that I've never done before, and despite the difficult beginning, continuing to work toward my dreams. At the core of those dreams is travel. Going on a road trip, learning new languages, discovering new things and meeting new people. But dreams like these require money, a significant amount of it to be exact. So, in order to build a solid foundation for my future and my future family, I've decided to move to another country for work for more than half a year. The goal is simple: to save enough money to afford a road trip car and everything essential for traveling, and to begin building financial security for the family I hope to have one day. That's why I'm packing up for a journey once again. And this is why it's so different this time. Therefore, the name Project Cornerstone carries two meanings. First, it represents building a strong mental and spiritual foundation by deepening my relationship with God and striving to become the best version of myself. And second, it stands for creating a solid financial foundation by moving to another country, working hard, and saving as much as possible. All of this is meant to prepare the ground for both my future travels and the family I hope to build one day. I will document my everyday life in a country whose language I barely speak, including how I train without equipment, how I learn the language, and many other parts of this journey. I will also share the Bible verses and quotes that guide me each and every day. So hopefully we'll see each other soon. But until then, don't lose faith. Write your own stories, create your own adventures, and take care. God bless.